We're counting down the top 10 UFC matchups that could actually headline a once-in-history event on the South Lawn. From heavyweight power duels built for spectacle to long-awaited rivalry clashes with true championship stakes, each fight on this list is chosen for its realism, fan demand, and its impact on UFC history if it happened at the heart of American politics. Which contenders set the tone, and which clash deserves the number one spot? Let's begin with number 10. In 10th place, Tom Aspinall versus Gane brings heavyweight spectacle to the South Lawn, a matchup built for visual impact and raw power. Aspinall, holding a record of 14 wins and 3 losses in the UFC Heavyweight Championship, enters on a streak of 4 wins in his last 5 fights. Gane, with a record of 13 wins and 2 losses and ranked as the number 1 contender, boasts a remarkable 63% significant strike accuracy, making him one of the most efficient strikers in the division. Both fighters typically compete near their natural weight, minimizing the risks of outdoor rehydration and complex weight cuts, a logistical advantage for a historic White House card. The contrast is striking. Aspinall's explosive finishing ability meets Gane's movement and technical precision, and this matchup sets the stage for the entire event, establishing the scale and intensity possible when two of the division's biggest names collide at the heart of American history. Number 9 brings a shift in tempo, as Alexandre Pantoja and Tatsuro Taira step onto the South Lawn for a flyweight showdown built on pure technical speed. Alexandre Pantoja, the seasoned Brazilian with a record of 29 wins and 7 losses in the top contender ranking, enters fresh off 4 wins in his last 5 outings. His submission arsenal is among the division's most dangerous, averaging 1.9 submissions per 15 minutes, an elite metric in the UFC 125-pound class. Across from him stands Tatsuro Taira, Japan's rising phenom, with a record of 18 wins and 1 loss, holding the number 3 contender spot. In his last 5 fights, he has 4 victories and 1 loss, a run that has turned heads among flyweight analysts. Both fighters are natural flyweights, meaning no catchweight drama or risky weight cuts, just pure divisional speed. This matchup offers a technical chess match. Pantoja's grappling acumen faces Taira's youthful movement and scramble game. Each exchange promises rapid momentum swings. While flyweights rarely headline mainstream cards, this bout stakes a title eliminator pitting veteran savvy against surging momentum, make it a perfect showcase for the division's underappreciated fireworks, and a sharp contrast to the heavyweight power seen earlier. 8th place brings a welterweight clash that sets the South Lawn on edge. Belal Muhammad, riding a 5-fight win streak and holding the division's crown, faces his most dangerous challenger yet, Shavkat Rakhmonov, the undefeated Kazakh finisher. Muhammad's record stands at 24 wins and just 3 losses, with his last 5 outings all marked by victory. His style is relentless, averaging over 5 minutes of control time per round, a pace few can match in the cage. But Rakhmonov, now 18 wins and 0 losses with every victory by stoppage, brings a different kind of threat. No opponent has made it to the scorecards against him, and his number 2 ranking has fans demanding a shot at gold. The stakes are amplified by the venue. An American champion defending his title on presidential soil, with the pressure of legacy and national pride woven into every exchange. For Muhammad, it is a chance to cement his reign in front of the world. For Rakhmonov, it is the opportunity to make history by taking the belt and his perfect record into the heart of American power. The undefeated streak adds a layer of tension rarely seen, turning this fight into a referendum on dominance, resilience, and the meaning of a champion under the brightest lights imaginable. Number 7 throws the spotlight on Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev, locked in a high-stakes rematch that captured the MMA world's attention with its sudden reversal of fortune. Their October 2025 clash ended in just 1 minute and 20 seconds of the very first round when Pereira's left hook found its mark and erased the memory of his earlier defeat. That 80-second knockout didn't just flip the rivalry, it set the stage for a redemption arc that feels made for a presidential backdrop. Pereira, with 10 wins and 2 losses at light heavyweight and 4 wins in his last 5, stands as the reigning champion. Ankalaev, with 20 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, is the division's top contender, and he has been relentless in his pursuit. The contrast in styles is razor-sharp. Pereira's striking accuracy tested against Ankalaev's calculated takedown game, creating a powder keg of volatility in a standard 205-pound bout on the South Lawn. Every exchange would carry echoes of their first-round history, with the symbolism of the White House amplifying the stakes. For Pereira, it's about proving that lightning can strike twice. For Ankalaev, it's a shot at erasing the memory of those 80 seconds and reclaiming his place atop the division. The drama is undeniable, a true revenge narrative elevated by the weight of history and the promise of legacy. Number 6 delivers a featherweight classic that has defined an era: Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. A rivalry already etched into UFC history, their trilogy is a study in volume striking and high-level adaptation. Volkanovski, with a record of 27 wins and 4 losses and recent setbacks against Topuria, still commands respect as a former champion. Holloway, with a record of 26 wins and 8 losses, has notched 3 wins in his last 5 and remains the division's number 2. Their head-to-head ledger is all Volkanovski, 3 straight victories, including a razor-thin split decision at UFC 251 and a dominant showing at UFC 276. But Holloway's relentless pace, averaging 7.2 significant strikes per minute, tests even Volkanovski's 62% striking defense. The numbers tell a story of endless exchanges and razor-close rounds. On the White House lawn, this matchup becomes more than a rivalry, it is a battle for featherweight legacy on America's most iconic stage. Both fighters excel at making adjustments, trading momentum in ways that keep fans glued to every second. A fourth meeting would not just settle old scores, it would crown the greatest featherweight of their generation, with the world watching from the heart of presidential power. The stakes, already massive, would reach a new peak in this setting. Number 5 brings a collision of styles and stakes as Justin Gaethje squares off with Islam Makhachev, two of the most dangerous forces in the modern UFC. Makhachev arrives as the reigning welterweight champion, boasting a record of 26-1 and riding a 16-fight UFC win streak, a run that ties Anderson Silva's all-time promotional record. His dominance is built on suffocating control, averaging 7 minutes and 45 seconds of ground control per fight, a metric that has shut down even the most skilled strikers. Across from him stands Gaethje, the lightweight brawler with a record of 25-4 and 19 knockouts, known for transforming any contest into a war of attrition. His knockout percentage and relentless forward pressure have earned him a reputation as the division's most violent finisher. What makes this matchup electric is not just the contrast between Gaethje's thunderous striking and Makhachev's grappling mastery, it is the pound-for-pound implications. Both men hover near the top of global rankings, and a victory on presidential soil would cement the winner's legacy in a way no ordinary title defense could. The White House setting amplifies every exchange, turning the battle for supremacy into a spectacle with historic overtones. The potential for a 160-pound catchweight adds another layer of intrigue, testing both fighters outside their comfort zones and raising the question of who truly rules the lightweight to welterweight spectrum. For Makhachev, defending a 16-fight streak on this stage means risking everything he has built. For Gaethje, it is the rare chance to dethrone a dominant champion and rewrite his own narrative on the grandest platform imaginable. The technical chess match, the jeopardy of an all-time streak, and the legacy at stake converge to make this fight a defining moment, not just for two careers, but for the sport itself. Number 4 demands attention as Topuria steps up for his first title defense against Tsarukyan, a matchup that signals a potential generational shift in the lightweight division. Topuria, the undefeated Spanish-Georgian phenom, enters with a flawless 17-0 record and a staggering 13 finishes. His recent run includes knockouts of former champions and a reputation for ending fights before the judges can intervene. At just 29, he has already claimed the lightweight crown, but this defense offers his first true test. Across from him stands Tsarukyan, the relentless Armenian-Russian contender who boasts a 23-3 record and sits at number 2 in the division. In his last 5 fights, Tsarukyan has notched 4 straight wins, each marked by suffocating wrestling and a pace that breaks even the most seasoned opponents. His average of 3.2 takedowns per 15 minutes, according to official UFC stats, is among the highest in the division, making him a stylistic nightmare for any striker. The bout unfolds at the standard 155-pound limit, stripping away any catchweight excuses, and placing both men in their natural element. The South Lawn setting only amplifies the stakes. Every exchange, every scramble carries the weight of history. For Topuria, it is the chance to prove his championship run is no fluke and to begin building a dynasty. For Tsarukyan, it is the opportunity to seize the crown and usher in a new era defined by grit and relentless pressure. This is more than a title defense. It is a collision between youth and experience, between a finisher's fury and a grinder's will. The outcome could redefine the lightweight landscape for years to come, with the White House backdrop immortalizing the winner's name in the annals of both sport and spectacle. Coming to the top three, Joshua Van enters the White House spotlight as the newly crowned flyweight champion. He carries the momentum of a 6-fight win streak into his first title defense base. Van's rapid ascent reached its peak at UFC 323 in February 2026, when he dethroned Alexandre Pantoja and announced himself as a force at 125 pounds. His approach is relentless, averaging 5.9 significant strikes per minute, one of the highest outputs among active flyweights, according to UFCstats.com. That pace, combined with a 16-2 record, has fueled talk of a new era for the division. But the pressure of a maiden defense brings its own narrative. This is the champion's first test, and all eyes are on whether Van can handle the weight of expectation on America's most iconic stage. Across the cage stands Manel Kape, the number 2 contender and a fighter known for finishing flair. Kape's recent run includes 3 straight knockouts, pushing his record to 22-7 and making him one of the most dangerous threats in the flyweight ranks. His knockout rate and ability to turn a fight in an instant have made him a fan favorite and a nightmare for champions trying to build a legacy. The matchup is a classic collision of momentum, Van's underdog rise versus Kape's proven finishing power. A 125-pound title fight on the South Lawn would not only test Van's composure under the brightest lights, it would also showcase the explosive potential of the lighter divisions. In a setting that often favors heavyweights and established names, this bout proves that flyweight fireworks can headline any card, even on presidential grounds. If Van survives the first defense jitters and turns back Kape's onslaught, he accelerates his legend in a single night. For Kape, a win means seizing the belt and crashing the new champion's coronation on the most historic turf in sports. The stakes, both immediate and for long-term legacy, are amplified by the White House setting, making this matchup a defining chapter in the evolution of the flyweight division. In second place, Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal ignite the White House lawn with a rivalry as much about American identity as it is about fighting skill. Their feud, once rooted in friendship as American top-team teammates, now stands as a cultural fault line, patriotism clashing with street credibility, red hat against Miami hustle. Covington, with a record of 17 wins and 4 losses and a relentless wrestling game, averaging nearly 6 takedowns per 15 minutes, has built his persona around political bravado, flag-draped walkouts, and public support for presidential campaigns. Masvidal, with 35 wins and 17 losses, embodies the street fighter rise, bringing backyard brawls and a knockout reputation to the global stage. Their first meeting at UFC 272 in March 2022 was not just a fight, it was a referendum on loyalty, betrayal, and the power of narrative. The event drew over 700,000 pay-per-view buys, a testament to its reach beyond the typical MMA audience. Social media buzzed for weeks, with both fighters trading barbs and rallying their fan bases into a frenzy that spilled out of the cage and onto the streets of Miami. But the aftermath turned even more volatile. Days after the fight, Masvidal confronted Covington outside a Miami steakhouse, leading to a physical altercation that left Covington with a broken tooth and Masvidal facing felony charges. The legal battle dragged on for nearly 2 years, ending with Masvidal pleading guilty to misdemeanor battery and serving no jail time, a resolution that only deepened the public fascination with their story. Restraining orders were lifted, but the animosity never faded. Each new social media post, every interview, stoked the flames of a rivalry that refuses to cool. A rematch on the South Lawn would be more than a welterweight contest. It would be a spectacle, with security at its highest and symbolism impossible to ignore. The White House venue magnifies every punch, every taunt, transforming a personal feud into a national event. For Covington, it is a chance to drape himself in the flag and claim victory on the ultimate stage. For Masvidal, it is the immigrant fight for respect, a shot at redemption in front of the world. No other matchup on this card carries such raw, divisive energy or the potential to draw mainstream eyes to MMA's most polarizing rivalry. The stakes go far beyond rankings or belts. This is about legacy, identity, and the power of sport to reflect the culture it inhabits. And finally, in first place, Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz bring the ultimate trilogy to the White House, closing a saga that has defined an era of combat sports spectacle. Their rivalry began in March 2016, when Diaz, stepping in on short notice, stunned the world with a rear naked choke at 4 minutes 12 seconds of the second round, handing McGregor his first UFC defeat and igniting a cultural firestorm. 5 months later, at UFC 202, McGregor returned the favor in a 5-round war decided by majority decision, leveling the score and cementing both men as pay-per-view titans. Each bout drew over 1.6 million pay-per-view buys, with social media trends spiking into the millions, making their rivalry one of the most watched in UFC history. The score remains tied at 1 win apiece, leaving fans clamoring for a decisive third act. Both fighters have transcended the sport, McGregor with 6 pay-per-view events that topped 1 million buys, and Diaz, whose relentless pace averages 4.6 significant strikes per minute, according to UFCstats.com. Their styles create a combustible mix, McGregor's precision striking and Diaz's relentless pressure, each fighter pushing the other to the edge of exhaustion and willpower. The trilogy has been paused by injuries and contract disputes, but the demand has never faded. Any new meeting would require medical clearance and likely a 170-pound catchweight, a nod to their previous showdowns and McGregor's history of fighting above his natural weight class. Staging this fight on the South Lawn transforms it from a sporting event into a mainstream phenomenon. The symbolism is unmistakable. 2 global icons, representing Irish bravado and Stockton grit, battling for legacy on America's front porch. The White House venue amplifies every narrative, redemption, rivalry, and the pursuit of history in the world's most famous backyard. The spectacle would reach far beyond mixed martial arts, drawing in casual fans and first-time viewers, with every media outlet tuned to the outcome. For McGregor, victory would mean reclaiming his place atop the sport and silencing questions about his legacy after years of inactivity and injury. For Diaz, it is a chance to close the book on a rivalry that has defined his career, to submit or outlast the most famous name in mixed martial arts, and to do it on a stage that no fighter has ever reached. The emotional crescendo, the cultural crossover, and the sheer magnitude of the moment make this the ultimate payoff. Not just for the fighters, but for the sport itself. No other matchup delivers the same blend of history, mainstream appeal, and narrative closure, crowning the White House as the only fitting stage for a trilogy that has captivated millions. Across all 10 possible matchups, one truth emerges. The greatest UFC fights are shaped as much by cultural moments as by rankings or rivalries. The dream of a White House showdown spotlights how mixed martial arts has become a stage for national identity, unity, and spectacle. These bouts prove that sport's biggest impact isn't just in the cage, it's in the moments that capture a nation's imagination. Which fight would you want to headline?